Alright, guys, you gotta check this out because this is absolutely freaking hilarious. So, I saw this the other night, probably yesterday night. Activist group calls for major Switch 2 boycott. Now, every time I think of the word activist, I immediately just think of a bunch of stupid, pathetic libtards, people who just stand on the fucking road when people are trying to get to work, people who are just, trash. They're just worthless and they're very fucking annoying and normal people just do not like them. Well, these are the kinds of people who are boycotting the Nintendo Switch 2. You see all of these fools on YouTube and whatnot that have been crying about the Nintendo Switch 2 for months now. Some of them will pretend to be like, you know, right wingers and things of that nature, but they're really not. They're pretty much one and the same. They're all pretty fucking phony when it comes down to it. But yeah, so we got stupid ass activist groups now calling for the boycott of the Switch 2. Now this is just shows you how fucking stupid these people are, because anybody who desires to have a Switch 2 ain't gonna listen to these idiots. They're not. Anybody who has zero problem with the price of the games, aren't going to listen to these people. But you know what? Let's just scroll down. Let's check this out. Let's read some of this. This is on Screen Rant, by the way. Activist group Gaming Consumer Rights has launched a website urging people to boycott Nintendo in response to its poor marketing practices surrounding the Nintendo Switch 2. The website is intended to educate, you hear that, guys? Educate consumers about the Switch 2 and what the GCR claims to be malicious marketing practices by Nintendo to trick and scare fans into purchasing an overpriced console and repackage $80 Switch 1 games. Okay, they use the word educate. How about brainwash? How about mislead? Lie? Because that's what they're really doing. It's funny how nobody needs your fucking education. All right, nobody needs your dumbass to educate us about what's going on. We have a fucking brain. We know how much it costs. We know that the game is $80. So I don't understand what this bullshit is all about, thinking that they're going to be able to educate people or whatever. But what's really funny is it's intended to educate people about malicious marketing practices by Nintendo to trick and scare fans into purchase. Exactly how is Nintendo tricking or scaring fans into buying their products? I mean, what the hell is Nintendo? Do they have like, literal, ninjas? Everyone always wants to be funny about, the lawyers and stuff. Do they have like, people actually breaking into people's homes, attacking people, threatening to get people fired? What is this stupidity about Nintendo supposedly tricking and scaring people into buying their games? That's what I want to know. So you could already tell this activist group, they're a bunch of left-wing fucktards or whatever. So let's keep reading on. Let's scroll down. The GCR's new website points an accusatory finger at Nintendo for using misleading marketing and artificially creating the illusion of scarcity. Okay, so that's what they mean by scaring people into buying a product. They're using, artificial, scarcity, basically. That's what they're claiming. But that's funny because aren't there like a bunch of stupid YouTube videos like claiming that no one's buying the Switch 2? Like, aren't there a whole bunch of videos right now of haters saying that, stores are fully stocked and nobody wants these and no one's buying these things? That's kind of funny how, they're creating the illusion of scarcity, and yet you have a bunch of idiots online crying about the fact that no one is supposedly buying them. And exactly how is Nintendo creating artificial scarcity when Nintendo's been telling people that they've planned from day one to keep the stores stocked, that we're going to have enough systems ready available at launch, so that way no one would miss out on buying Switch 2. They came fully prepared. They had, I don't know, they had millions and millions of of Switch 2s ready. You know, GameStop's had had 100 units per store, which is a lot for a GameStop. And yeah, you got these fucking idiots acting like Nintendo's trying to create artificial scarcity. Nah, I don't think so. So the GCR claims that Nintendo is manipulating into gamers into buying a new console that actually has a far lower value. It has a far lower value. Oh, really, dipshit? How do you figure? You know, I think the only console that you could say has a far lower value than what it's worth is the PlayStation 5 Pro. Because even though it costs $200 more than the original PlayStation 5, the original PlayStation 5 is performing video games better than the PlayStation 5 Pro. So I wonder why these dipshit morons aren't going after the PlayStation 5 Pro instead. That's what I want to know. So let's see. Unnaturally hiking prices for the console, its games, and potential repairs down the line. Let's see. The website states that it's time we switch to a new gaming platform. Oh, okay. So this is about wanting people to switch over to a different game platform. We switch to a new gaming platform and urge visitors not to support Nintendo by taking their purchasing power to other options. So what are these other options? That's what I want to know. And are these other options far more consumer friendly? They don't really specify, do they? Let's keep on. Gaming advocacy groups urges fans to boycott Nintendo. In-person protests in the works. And here's some poster. Those prices are bananas. $80, and then it's showing a price tag, $80, and then a $500 price tag or whatever. Not a whole lot of context there from these idiots. GCR. So yeah, this GCR group. Don't know who they are, but they sound like a bunch of fucking idiots. They sound like they should get their asses whooped because they're not really doing anything good for society. The mission statement of the Gaming Consumer Rights Group is straightforward. Gaming Consumer Rights wants to correct the corruption in video games that has pushed AAA towards greed and bloat. Gaming should be accessible and fun for everybody regardless of their budget, country, or lifestyle. The GCR has set its sights on Nintendo and still relatively new Nintendo Switch 2, accusing Nintendo of artificially creating the illusion of shortage to give buying the console a false sense of urgency. Well, once again, Nintendo themselves never said that they were running low on stock or anything like that. So, and I don't think they also never hinted to the prices going up due to tariffs. That's another thing to keep in mind. Only people on YouTube are saying, hey, you may want to buy a Switch 2 now because we never know if the price goes up. Now, the price has went up on Xbox and PlayStation. Now, are these faggots complaining about that? Nope. But they're complaining about Nintendo only, and they're trying to claim that Nintendo's creating artificial scarcity. Let's scroll down over here. The group boldly claims in a press release that the console deserves harsh criticism for its role in hijacking prices, threatening physical media, that's bullshit, controlling digital activity, creating purposely obsolescent hardware, and illegally bricking consoles illegally. I like that how they use the word illegally. They're doing illegal stuff here. In-person protests are planned for the upcoming New York Comic Con and the Game Awards. So these pathetic losers are going to try to get a bunch of stupid-ass protesters together to annoy the shit out of people. The updated website includes information and sources regarding the price, specs, and ownership rights of Nintendo Switch 2 users. It also lists several alternative consoles from smaller brands and educates, there's that stupid fucking word again, educates gamers on how to support the group's mission and drive change in the industry. Well, you know what? This entire group can go eat shit. That's what they can do. Bunch of fucking losers is what they are. Let's continue. Fan criticism is causing a shift in the gaming industry. The gaming consumer rights movement firmly believes that if enough consumers are loud enough in their protests, they can shape the future and economics of the video game industry. The site's FAQ points out that gamer outcry has already seen some effects, citing the price drop for Borderlands 4 and Outer Worlds 2. Okay. But what's funny is has it happened for Mario Kart World? No, right? So y'all can shut the fuck up. The site also mentions countrywide efforts to combat potentially manipulative behavior by large gaming companies. This includes a lawsuit in Brazil over EULA's ability to, or EULA's ability to break consoles, and UK Amazon's physical game keycard discounts, potentially meant to encourage physical ownership. The website also points to Hollow Knight Silksong as generating criticism towards AAA games. So now these fucking morons are using Hollow Knight Silksong or whatever. Fucking idiots. Thanks to the incredibly popular game's low $20 price tag, the gaming consumer rights group seems set to disrupt the game industry by calling out companies like Nintendo for what the group sees as exploitative practices surrounding the Nintendo Switch 2. Alright, let's set the record straight with these dumb fucks. They're over here talking about how Hollow Knight is just these great consumer-friendly people because their game is at a $20 price tag. Yeah, a $20 price tag because there's only fucking 7 people working on the game, right? No, 4? Far less than that. I think it was 4 people. Yeah, 4 people working on the damn game. So yeah, they can afford to lower the fucking price. Only 4 people who are going to be profiting from that. Of course, they're not going to fucking jack the price up real high because if they had 100 or 1,000 people developing the damn game, they're going to have to make it pricier, you fucking idiot. So they can actually make more money. They can actually make a fucking profit. So yeah, 4 people who worked on that game, they can release it to $20. It sells about, if it sells 1 minute, I mean, that's shit, $20 for all 4 of those people. That's like what, 5 million per person right there. So it doesn't even have to sell 1 million for them to be, live comfortably, in my opinion. It could have sold like 100,000 copies, and they would be doing really well right now. You didn't, but yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Hollow Knight Silksong has sold. I think it's sold more than 250,000 last I heard. Those 4 people who worked on that game, yeah, they can afford to put it for $20, and now they're gonna be eating really good. So good for them. But you fucking idiots acting like, oh, every other big AAA studio needs to do the same thing. Their game should be $20. Shut the fuck up. You don't even give a shit about the developers if you say that. Or you're just fucking stupid and you don't know how to do math. You suck at math. So yeah, they're trying to use Hollow Knight Silksong as an example of how these guys can, lower the prices of their games. Bunch of bullshit. Anyways, yeah, this was a quick little rant for Screen Rant. Basically, just retarded fucking activists, the gaming consumer group or whatever they call themselves. Bunch of fucking dorks. They can go to hell. All right, they can straight up go to hell. They don't care about the game developers working on these big games. They're full of shit too, because they're it seems like a anti-Nintendo thing, because how is it that, they're more upset about the Switch 2 and not the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is $700, which does not even do a good job at performing games. better than the original PlayStation 5. But they explicitly said in this stupid article, "Oh yeah, we're gonna encourage them to buy different platforms, different consoles." Oh, okay. So how about you tell us which of those consoles are? They didn't include that in the article. That's kind of telling, isn't it? You would think they would say, "Oh, well, here's the other console you should be getting, and here's why. Here's why it's a better deal. Here's why it's more consumer friendly." Why? Because the facts show that Nintendo Switch 2 is the most consumer friendly console right now on the fucking market. It's got the best fucking games. They are doing way fucking better than PlayStation and Xbox. That is a fucking fact. Xbox, the Game Pass just went up. Now this stupid consumer group article or whatever came out yesterday. So, but regardless, if you want the best console, if you want the best bang for your buck, it is the Nintendo Switch 2. And if you're not ready to pay that much money, you could get the regular Nintendo Switch, and you'll have an access to one of the best libraries right now in all of video gaming. So I just found this shit to be very funny, guys. I'm stupid ass activists, worthless fucking pieces of trash out there, and they're all full of shit. Again, what consoles are they gonna tell people to get instead? How about the original Switch? If they said that, then I'd be like, oh, okay. I mean, they're still full of shit, but that at least makes sense. But they didn't say, they didn't specify. They just get other consoles instead. You know what? My best bet would be the Steam Deck. They're probably going to talk about the Steam Deck. Yeah, get the Steam Deck instead. Which isn't the Steam Deck $500? Which is $50 more than a Switch 2. Oh, and doesn't the Steam Deck not have exclusives? Yeah. Fuck the Steam Deck. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about these pathetic fucking losers, this activist group, this gaming consumer rights ass clowns. What do you think about this stupid ass article and them trying to educate people? That's not educating. That's just you trying to fucking indoctrinate people and just spew out a bunch of bullshit and, try to encourage people to, not spend any money on Nintendo. And look, Nintendo's scaring you into buying their system. Bunch of idiots. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about these fucking clowns. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will talk to y'all later. See ya.